With Festival of the Lost shifting into full gear, players have started to get their hands on the new rapid fire frame pulse rifle, the Jurassic Green. Now, some players are left wondering, is this the new pulse rifle that is going to be better than the top contender in the 540 category, the Darkest Before? Well, in today's video, we're going to be breaking down both pulse rifles and seeing which one you should be using for PvP. We'll be looking at accessibility, stats and perks, and overall PvP effectiveness. But with that out of the way, let's get into the video. With the return of Festival of the Lost, Bungie reintroduced the Lincoln Green, but as the Jurassic Green. Unlike the Lincoln Green, which is a kinetic weapon, the Jurassic Green is an energy weapon. Now, this weapon can be farmed by completing the spooky Lost sectors while the Festival of the Lost is active, which only runs from October 12, 2021 to November 2nd, 2021. Now, we will be comparing the Jurassic Green to the Darkest Before, which is a Trials of the Nine pulse rifle, which can be acquired by completing the final boss encounter in the Prophecy Dungeon. Both weapons are rapid fire frames and they fall into the energy slot. With both weapons being 540 RPM pulse rifles, this makes their time to kill 0.8 seconds, only requiring 9 shots, 7 of which have to be critical and 2 body shots. With base magazines of 35 to 36, both weapons can secure kills easily, but this also allows a little bit of room for error. So if you miss a few shots, you won't be severely punished since you still have plenty of ammo left over. Keep in mind that both weapons have a competitive time to kill when compared to other pulse rifles such as the No Time to Explain and the Messenger, if and only if they are used in their intended environment, which is going to be up close and personal. Now, before we get into the perk breakdown, let's talk about bonus damage with perks like multi-kill clip and rampage. Now, a lot of players might be under the assumption that with bonus damage perks, you can easily 2-burst your enemies. Now, when it comes to rapid fire frame pulse rifles, to secure a kill, you need a minimum of 3 bursts. But with the perk kill clip, this can be lowered to 2 bursts. The only drawback to that is with the Jurassic Green, it only comes with the perk multi-kill clip. And with the Darkest Before, it only comes with the perk Rampage. Both of these perks will not decrease the time to kill, but only allow more room for error. Now, before we get into individual perks, let's take a look at each of the weapon's base stats, since this will point us in the right direction on which set of perks we should be aiming for. Looking at both weapons' base stats, you can see that the Jurassic Green has much lower stats than the Darkest Before, except in the aim assist category. With that being said, this can really hinder the Jurassic Green's performance in game, and we might want to focus on perks that can boost these overall stats. As for the Darkest Before, since its overall base stats are higher than the Jurassic Green, we can focus on perks that assist in making this weapon much easier to use in engagements. Since the base stats of the Darkest Before are extremely high to begin with, you might want to focus on perks like Subsistence, Overflow, Surplus, and Slide Shot, all of which can either assist in reloading or boost the ammunition capacity of the weapon. Now, in the final column, I highly recommend you aim for the perk Full Auto. One of the biggest drawbacks to rapid fire frame pulse rifles is players having trouble firing the weapon at optimal speed, thus hindering your chance at reaching that optimal time to kill of 0.8 seconds. Now, when it comes to the Jurassic Green, you might want to focus on boosting the weapon's overall stats, which can be accomplished with perks such as Tunnel Vision and Heating Up, both of which will activate after securing a kill. Now, you can't go wrong with the perk like Killing Wind, since this will boost the reload but also extend the weapon's range and increase your overall movement, which is great for 1v1 duels. One perk that is specific for this weapon is going to be the perk Rangefinder, which can really assist in bumping the weapon's overall range and aim assist. Now, in the final column for the Jurassic Green, you have 2 options for bonus damage, but let's keep the first segment in mind. Even with the perk multi-kill clip or frenzy, which is another bonus damage perk, this weapon will still require 3 bursts to kill any enemy guardian. Now, if I had to choose a role for the Jurassic Green, I would ultimately go with polygonal rifling for that plus 10 to stability. Next, I would go with the perk Ricochet Rounds for that plus 5 to range and plus 10 to stability. After that, I would want to try to boost this weapon's range even further, so I would go with the perk Killing Wind or Rangefinder, both of which are going to give this weapon an extra bump to range, allowing you to duel a little further than you normally would have. In the final column, I would go with the perk Adrenaline Junkie. One of the Bungie community managers, DMG, tweeted out that you should hold on to your Adrenaline Junkie perks, and since this is a limited time event, why not try to secure yourself an Adrenaline Junkie 540 RPM pulse rifle? But if I had to choose a different perk in the final column, I would go with the perk multi-kill clip. Not because I want to try to 2-burst an enemy, but it allows me to be a little more sloppier, making this gun's ease of use a little bit easier. As for my final thoughts on the Jurassic Green, is it a top tier option? I think it falls back on two things. Essentially, do you have ample time to farm for a Darkest Before? Given that it requires you to have a pre-made fire team and the completion of the final boss in the Prophecy Dungeon, how many times are you willing to farm for this god roll of the Darkest Before throwing in the towel? Because when it comes to the Jurassic Green, I was able to farm 5 or 6 different rolls within an hour. Since it is pretty easy to get this weapon, it only requires about 5 to 10 minutes. The only drawback to the Jurassic Green is its lower base stats and a subpar perk pool. The Jurassic Green really falls short of being a PvP monster, and if it wasn't for the fact that it was a limited time event and limited edition weapon, I think most players would overlook this. But that shouldn't stop you from farming this weapon, especially if you're someone who doesn't have time to farm for a Darkest Before. Overall, I think what could have made this weapon extremely unique and a top tier contender for PvP would have been giving it the perk Kill Clip. If it had the perk Kill Clip, it would make the Jurassic Green an outlier to the current rapid fire frame pulse rifles. Essentially, this weapon would have been more desirable for any player. As someone who's a collector of weapons, I will be grinding for a god roll Jurassic Green, but I'm not going to be too disappointed if I don't end up getting the roll I wanted, since I do have a good Darkest Before. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to leave a like on the video, which lets me know to do more videos like this. Also, if you're new to the channel, hi, I'm BRAVExHERO, and I cover everything Destiny 2 related. So if you want more D2 content, feel free to click that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on all notifications. I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. Enjoy your day, and I will see you in the next video.